Good morning, my dear friends. Welcome or welcome back. I have a Bath & Body Works candle for you today. Happy Black Friday! Yay! Man, this used to be such a huge day, and I feel like it's slightly less now, but I still feel excited on a Black Friday because I'm one of those people too who tries not to listen to Christmas music until the day after Thanksgiving. So all the Christmas albums come out today for sure. You know, I re-download them to my iPhone and start playing them in the house. And we can start thinking about getting the Christmas tree out and all the different things. I need for Thanksgiving to pass, and I just need Thanksgiving to be a moment. I need it to be like the end of fall and its own glory and grandeur. And then Black Friday is, it's lights, it's everything, and it's shopping, so much shopping. I tend to not even buy that much on Black Friday. I mean, even like a decade ago when Black Friday was still a major thing, I would just put my headphones on and hit all the stores. And I didn't feel the pressure of having to buy anything, but I just wanted to see all of the lights and all of the displays and be where everybody was and be listening to my Christmas music. It was just, it's everything. And to be honest, it's probably still how I will spend Black Friday. So, it's a special day for me. Maybe it is for you. Maybe you're just decompressing from Thanksgiving. I have a Bath & Body Works candle for you. And while the last couple Bath & Body Works candles have not been great on this channel, and spoiler alert, we've got at least one or two more coming up that are, I think, quite lackluster, I am happy to recommend this one. So, this is a brand new candle for the holiday season, and it is Golden Berry Mistletoe. It looks like this. Well, yeah, I guess you don't need to see the rest of it. As I mentioned when I hauled it, I really do think that they phoned it in with the label. I not only had to go through a stack of 15 of these candles to find one that has a not crooked label. They were all super jagged and just not good looking. But then on top of it, even when it's perfectly straight, I mean, it's just not, it's really not that metallic-y. And this is just one of those labels where it's it is $24.95. That's good. It's every bit of that $24.95 price point. And I feel as though there have been a lot of great $24.95 labels for this season. This is definitely not one of them. Totally phoned in. So I'm not happy about that. It does have a gold lid. It's got this fancy thing here, which is fine. But I think they definitely need a better label for this. I almost wish they did a photorealistic label here of holly berries or something, I don't know, with gold, I don't know. I just feel like something could have been done. All right, so Golden Berry Mistletoe just dropped within the most recent drop. So I want to say maybe two and a half weeks ago, something like that. And I smelled it in the store when it was a 1 wick. So the 1 wicks came out about a week before the 3 wicks did. And I was in the store and I smelled the single wick and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually really nice. So I was gonna buy the 3 wick and they're like, you have to wait for the floor set. Come back in a week. I was like, why? I don't have the time for that, but I did. I came back and I got the 3 wick. So this one burned pretty well. It burned all the way down to the wick clips. It did experience some problems, which we'll talk about in a second. Let's talk about the fragrance first though. So the notes on this one are sparkling berries, which you would expect from Golden Berry Mistletoe, sugared spruce, and frosted air. So it's really just berries and spruce and air. And that's not quite what it is that you smell. Not gonna lie to you. So this is a little bit more than that. It's more than just berries and air and spruce. And to be honest, I said from the beginning, this smells more citrusy than it does berries. Yeah. So, you know, that wild berry candle, the purple ube and wild berry, that's a very strong wild berry smell. This, I think, is not quite as wild berry. Although there is wild berry in here for sure. But I really think there's a strong like citrus component to it. And when I smelled it initially, I thought to myself, this was a citrus spruce kind of candle, which I was totally here for. Bath & Body Works doesn't do citrus all that well, and I ended up taking back the spiced, what was it, Spiced Citrus Grove or something like that, that new one. I just didn't like the orange note too much in it. And it wasn't getting great reviews in terms of strength and throw, so I relinquished that. And partly the reason that I did that and felt comfortable doing that is because when I smelled this one, I thought it was a good replacement. I'm like, here's a tree, here's some citrus, I like this one better. It does have the berries. I think it was like the golden nature of it too that just seemed very citrus evocative. It is a lot of tree, and it is a lot of citrus, and it is a lot of Bath & Body Works body care-ish kind of vibe. And so it's no coincidence that this came out also in a few select body care items as well, which I have not actually smelled because when I originally picked this one up, I don't think they had the body care items on the floor yet, or they were in the process. Yeah, it's very Bath & Body Works. So nobody has said this about this candle, and so I know it's going to seem a little bit crazy, and I may get some clapbacks for it, and that's totally fine. I actually think that this candle is a version of Capri Blue Volcano, of all things. This candle is basically Bath & Body Works version of Capri Blue Volcano. So if Bath & Body Works did the fragrance rather than Capri Blue. By that, I am not saying that this is a dupe for Capri Blue Volcano. I actually think that they may have tried a dupe at some point, and the people who buy Bath & Body Works all the time will be able to tell you what it was. I think it was maybe some like blue citrus, or I can't remember what exactly the candle was, and I don't even know if I've smelled it. So they did try an actual dupe. This is not a dupe of Capri Blue Volcano. This is like inspired by, and like I said, if Bath & Body Works did the fragrance all up in their Bath & Body Works wheelhouse, as opposed to Capri Blue. So if you're familiar, Capri Blue Volcano, it's one of those cult favorites. It's the way Anthropologie stores smell. So Anthropologie is a very high-end boutique kind of women's store. And like the price point is absurd for almost everything. But Capri Blue, and I should have researched this before I started talking about it. I don't actually think that Capri Blue and Anthropologie are under the same corporation. I don't think they're under the same corporate umbrella, although if they are, that has recently changed. Capri Blue is actually owned by Times, Thymes, and Times also does very high-end home fragrance and like soaps and lotions and stuff like that. They do the Fraser Fur. That company owns Capri Blue. But at any rate, Anthropologie stores have a very strong relationship with Capri Blue, and particularly with the fragrance Volcano. And Volcano, they have like a corporate rule in Anthropologie that a Capri Blue candle has to be burning at all times in the store. It doesn't matter what season it is, there has to be at least one Capri Blue Volcano candle burning at any given time. So the whole store smells like Capri Blue Volcano 24/7. And it's like a really, like I said, a cult favorite, especially amongst women of a certain demographic. I'm one of the weird ones who like actually doesn't love that scent. Close parentheses. Capri Blue Volcano is a very sparkly, effervescent citrus kind of smell, and it does have spruce on the bottom, or some like mountain, I can't remember what they call it, like mountain greens. It's basically a spruce note, but it's pretty subtle on the bottom of the fragrance, and the entire fragrance is very premium. It's very perfumey. For me, it's a little heavy. Personally, it's thick, it's sweet, it's like citrusy, it's feminine perfume, etc. But it does smell very sophisticated, very premium, very high end, which goes perfectly with that whole like Anthropologie store vibe The price point is like, it's a very, as Melanie from Mr. Kong's mom would say, it's a fancy lady fragrance for sure. So if Bath and Body Works did that fragrance, they would bring the premium quality down a little bit. The price point is definitely going to go from $40 to $10. And instead of it being like a high-end perfume, Bath and Body Works would be like, how can we make this a body splash? How can we make this a lotion, right? So Bath and Body Works, instead of being high premium perfume, their version of that particular fragrance would sit more in the body care realm for Bath and Body Works, and that's exactly what this one is. So it actually has that very strong, like citrus Capri Blue Volcano kind of smell. It's got a strong tree note underneath. And then it's added in this like berry element, like this fruity tooty, like Bath and Body Works kind of thing. And the whole thing goes body care as opposed to like premium high-end perfume. But basically, I think it's the same fragrance, or at least it's a very similar fragrance. Like I said, it's as if Bath and Body Works did Capri Blue Volcano in their own way, in their own aesthetic, with their own vibe. It's that kind of vibe. I actually weirdly like this one better than Capri Blue, not because it's a very sophisticated scent, but because I actually think that the tree comes forward much stronger and more authentically in this candle than in the Anthropologie one. So the Anthropologie one, because it's so perfumey, the citrus takes over, as does like, I think there might be like a white floral, and there's just a very heavy perfume kind of quality to it that the mountain greens or the spruce, which is meant to kind of cut it a little bit, and it does, but in a very subtle fashion. Those mountain green elements are kind of overwhelmed by the whole heavy perfume aspect. In this candle, the more inexpensive body care element actually does not overwhelm the spruce. And here that spruce comes forward with at least as much power, I think, as that Bath and Body Works like citrus berry body care body wash kind of pop. And for that reason, I actually think it's better balanced than Capri Blue Volcano. And I just think it's very successful at what it does. Do I love that candle, Capri Blue Volcano? I absolutely do not. Do I prefer this one, but do I still not like absolutely 100% love it? Yes. That's kind of where I am with this. Is it Christmassy? I don't know that it is. Now, citrus, a high citrus with a spruce or a balsam, that is automatically going to make you think about Christmas, because for some people, you put balsam in any kind of candle, it'll take you to that Christmas place. But especially when you have a citrus with a balsam, it's even more so. The wild berry body care dimension of this is not particularly seasonal. And some people have been like, I don't think this smells like holiday enough. And I'm kind of inclined to agree with them. I do think this would be a very strong January candle. So it might be a great candle to pick up right now and then burn it in January, where you still wouldn't mind a little bit of outdoorsy, like coniferous spruce pine balsam. And you want that like really fresh citrusy. A lot of people burn citrus in January, especially as they're starting to like clear away Christmas things and New Year kind of have a fresh start. And so I think this one would actually be great in January for that reason, especially if it doesn't strike you as totally holiday appropriate now. But I think that you could burn it here now too. When I first burned this, I actually put it in my like little guest bathroom because I was burning other things. And I'm like, well, let's fire this up and see. So I put it in the little guest bathroom and I kind of shut it up, but I must have left the door cracked. And I was sitting out here and I'm like, where is the tree? Where is the tree? I mean, the tree really carries. It carries, and it's a very nice balsam. And through that little crack, it was like coming in. So I think it's very powerful on the tree. And I find that the tree aspect of this candle has better throw than the high citrus and the body care, which is to say that if you sit back from the candle a little bit, you're gonna smell a lot of balsam, more than you do the like citrus and berry kind of thing, which was great for me because I am not as fond of the citrus berry body care element as I am the spruce balsam. And it was kind of cracking me up because if this is a Christmas candle, that like, that citrus wild berry body care is kind of like Mariah Carey. Like it's just very like plastic fantastic. It's Christmas. It's like that kind of a vibe. There's like this fairly authentic, austere spruce balsam underneath it. So the closer you get to the candle, the more Mariah Carey Christmas it's going to be. The farther you are from the candle, you're going to get more of the tree. But I would say that for the most part, they balance really, really well. The performance on this was really quite good. I would say, I mean, citrus and balsam should amplify pretty well. Those are two fragrances that come across well in candles, and they definitely do here. So I would say that it was consistently in the 7 to 8 kind of range, right in there. There were times it seemed more like 7. I don't know that it really went down to a 6.5. I think it, for the most part, got up to 7 no matter what. And it even burned low at various moments. Not quite puny wicks, but like getting there. And even burning low, I was getting it up to a 7. So I think it really does have pretty good presence. And I did find that the balsam notes tended to have an even stronger throw, even if it wasn't like a huge amount of strength. So I would say that in terms of strength and throw, at least decent, if not a little bit more than decent. Weirdly, I got about halfway through and and I've noticed this for many of the candles that I've been burning from this season. And I don't know if it's, they go through so many candles at this point and the factory is churning them out so fast that the quality control starts to kind of go away. The last few candles, I have struggled not only with puny wicks, but they don't burn particularly evenly. So usually on a Bath & Body Works candle, I can light that up and within an hour, and sometimes less than that, sometimes like a half an hour, it has pooled all the way to the edges and it's ready to go. These candles have not been burning that way. I mean, I'll get to an hour and like most of it has pooled, but there'll be some like little tiny peninsula over here that's just not right? And I have to burn it an additional hour to get it to like go to that place. Whereas usually with Bath & Body Works candles, I don't need to burn it for 2 hours to get it to pool all the way to the edges. This one was that way too. And I would say halfway through the candle, I mean, it's just one of those times where I didn't have 2 hours or whatever it was. There developed this huge like nose right here. It just stuck out like an iceberg or a peninsula. And then the candle just kept like burning all the way down and it just stuck there. It was like stuck on the side of the glass, you know? And it was actually fortuitous because I was getting to that point in the candle where like it was burning low. It was like, will I be puny? Will I not? You know? And then there was this huge like glob of wax that just stuck right here and it actually helped the candle because there was a good amount of volume of wax stuck up here on the glass, which removed it from the candle, and then the wicks caught up and they were like, oh, okay, now we're fine. It's basically the effect of like cotton balling it or whatever else you need to do. And I thought it was just going to be there. So then I was like, guys, look how uneven this burned. But actually toward the bottom, the candle was getting so hot in the glass that it ended up gradually melting the ice cap all the way back down. And it did go all the way to the wick clips. I'm really not smelling a ton of soot, although it did burn sooty for sure. So it may just be that the fragrance itself with the balsam and with that high citrus conceals the soot. But either way, it's good. I mean, you just don't want it to smell like soot, and it doesn't, although obviously it got discolored and it got sooty. So that's my caveat. It didn't burn the most evenly, but it did burn all the way down. And at that point where it could have gone puny wicks, maybe it was the iceberg, I don't know, but it like powered through and got to the end of the tunnel and then it was fine all the way down. So I'm impressed with this candle. I really am. Would I even consider buying another one? Maybe. I mean, I don't know that it's hoard worthy for me. It is a little too close to Capri Blue Volcano for my taste and preferences, and it does smell a bit on the generic body care, Bath and Body Works kind of genre. The label is nothing to write home about, but it performed quite well, you know, at least decently, if not more than that. And the balsam and the citrus is really very nice. I actually like it a bit better than Capri Blue Volcano. And I can't imagine that there aren't a lot of people out there who would really love this candle, especially for January and February if it doesn't quite make your holiday cut. So I know this has been a really long video, but I think it deserves it. Is it a best new candle for this year? No, I don't think so. I don't think it quite rises to that, but it is quite good, you know? This and that purple ube one, I think are, you know, fairly decent mid-range offerings here toward the end of the season, and I'm happy with both of them. I think a lot of you will be really happy with this one, and especially the way that it performs. And my gosh, if you're like a Capri Blue person, you've really got to check this out and tell me, am I crazy? Or do you get Capri Blue Volcano vibes? Guess what, guys? It's available. It's online. It's in your store. Check it out. Or at least, like, if you're at a Bath and Body Works, take a sniff. Take a sniff. Tell me what you think. I'll catch you guys in the next one.